It has been many years, but this city will never be safe. Not whilst he is still out there.
We'll show them pointy ears! We'll show them all! His immensity, his enormity, has returned!
Just warm it up!
A storm comes to Eltharion. It is my duty, our duty, to endure.
It's time we give the pointy heads a proper fight!
As long as I still live. For Yvresse will never fall.
Alright, you get on in here.
Hello everyone and welcome to the reveal stream for the Warden and the Paunch, the newest Lord pack for Total War Warhammer 2. My name is Blondie, I'm a content producer at Creative Assembly and I am here with...
Nico, game designer on the Warhammer 2 DLC team.
Hey, so due to the state of the world as it is right now, we are in separate places to make sure that we socially distance. So I've got Nico here over voice chat. I can't see him, you can't see us. It's very, very strange. But hopefully we will make do. So, of course, we have the Warden and the Paunch now announced with Grom the Paunch and Eltharion the Grim as our new legendary lords. And we're going to talk about those a lot over the next coming weeks. However, actually we have a Let's Play coming next week, focusing on Grom entirely. But however, today we're going to focus on actually a free thing that is coming. And Nico, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I think many people have been hyped up for a long coming update, I think. It's overdue, and we're really happy now that we can finally push it out and give our green boys a new green paint, basically. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
It's going to be a lot of WAAAGH.
Yeah, a lot of WAAAGH. Which I just this morning realized is Greenskin for war. Did not realize that, but so yeah, so we're gonna have a lot of WAAAGH in this DLC, and of course with the Greenskin rework, there are a lot of updates to the Greenskin factions. But we're gonna use the game to sort of illustrate a lot of the points we're gonna make. But we're not gonna be playing the game today. We're gonna have your favorite YouTubers and streamers and so on, showing off a lot of content over the next coming weeks, and also next week we're gonna be playing the game as well. So let's jump into the game. It's very weird as well because Nico can control my computer even though he's in his house. Right. Yeah. So we are currently loaded in here as Ashag the Slaughterer, who is not a new faction. But this is not normally where he starts, is it?
Oh, so yeah, something...
Oh my god. Say it again. I'm getting some weird roboting on you.
Oh, sorry.
Try again.
Yeah, so something we've done in the past, obviously, as our community members know, is that we try to give legendary lords that were part of a bigger faction their own space in the world. And yeah, something we've done with Balthazar, for example, has now also finally come to one of our Greenskin characters with Ashag, to move him a little bit closer to his location and give him his own And yeah, it's obviously that for us like a really, really cool experience to put a different start, give you a different perspective, different enemies that you have to deal with, and get a lot of more variation into the game. And this is his start position. He owns Karak Angor at the moment, and will probably look towards Karak Raziak then as a start, and then from there on out, he has like a host of options going into the Empire lands, or he's quite friendly with the vampires. Community and the lore fanatics will know why that is. And then I mean, obviously, it's a really new area for you as a player. Normally, you're kind of located in the Badlands, right, with Grimgor, or you are near the Empire starting position with Skarsnik. So
yeah. So let's talk about some of the things that we've done for the Greenskins. I mean, obviously, Ashag getting a new starting position is fantastic, but that wouldn't be considered a full rework.
No, of course not.
No.
So, let's talk a bit about what we've done to the WAAAGH feature on the campaign map first. You can see that before, if you would select your characters, you would have like a WAAAGH bar here on your force. But that is gone. So where did it go? Well, in that sense, WAAAGH is now a faction-wide resource for each of the Greenskin factions that you see on the top here. And there's various thresholds. It's basically themed around reputation of your leader.
Yeah.
So the more fighting you do, the more raising you do, the more reputation you will grow amongst the Greenskin tribes, basically. And I mean, that has impact on your campaign in sense of different effect bundles. I mean, you can hover over them slowly.
Right. So the more you fight, the more bonuses you're gonna get, and eventually you're gonna hit a almost at breaking point, but that's not it. You're gonna hit the apex of Greenskin fightiness, which is the call to war.
Yeah, so that is when shit then gets real, right? So that is when really stuff goes down for the Greenskins, is when this button gets enabled, you can then select your preferred enemy. For example, now in this situation, if you would have 100 WAAAGH, we could just decide, okay, we want to call a WAAAGH against the Kislevians, for example, right? So we would then be able to select Kislev as a faction through their armies or through their settlements.
Yeah.
And then basically it would set a marker on Kislev. The capital of the faction that we select would then be our WAAAGH target.
Okay.
And then that is our goal for the next 20 turns, basically, that we need to either raise Kislev to the ground, or we need to occupy it or have it occupied at the end of the duration of the WAAAGH.
All right.
Now, I mean, that sounds nice and all, right? So you just have a target, but you know, why would you do that? And the main reason for why you would do that is that each of your army that is currently on the field gets basically what is now the WAAAGH army.
Okay.
The WAAAGH mobs that will come with it.
So how does that look on the map? Once you call a WAAAGH, how does the WAAAGH army differ from the current WAAAGH army?
Yeah, so the people will know that the old WAAAGH army was a separate faction, a separate force that would try to follow the parent that it summoned it, basically. Now it is a force that is tied to its parent. So basically you get more than 20 units in a force almost. So it's a secondary force, but attached to the first force. So you get basically, if your first army has 20 units in it, the second army will get up to 20 units as well. And they will spawn over time. So the secondary WAAAGH army will be filled over time as basically your mobs are gathering towards your WAAAGH.
Yeah.
And then when it's fully grown, you basically have a 40-unit army on the campaign map. And, I mean, that is quite ridiculous in a sense. But, you know, I mean... It's WAAAGH.
Absolutely crazy, but it's amazing. Yeah, having a 40-unit army is amazing. And judging by the chat, people are very excited. It is not controlled by an AI. I see people asking about it. This is fully in your control. You basically get a massive army. Now, so this second war army, what is it made up of? What kind of units could I expect to see in this army?
Yeah, so it is basically a chaff stack in that sense. So there will be a lot of low quality units in it. However, we did implement a feature where, depending on where you are on the campaign map, this war army can be filled with different units. I don't want to reveal too much about it, but we have some really unique and special toys in our toolbox now. We, for example, see next to Azag is a volcano.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that has an impact on what kind of armies will flock to your war in this region.
Ooh.
And there might be regions where a wyvern flies on top of the region, or there are boars seen in the province display on the campaign map, and that has an impact on what kind of units will flock towards your war armies.
So you won't see this. Theoretically, you will probably never see the same war army twice. It's like a deck of cards, right?
Yeah, I mean the unit selection is not that big, but you will see special units. So I would say that the ground fodder, the cannon fodder units, you will see them. You will see loads of goblins. You will see loads of boys. You will see some archers, and then you will see a set of specific special units in it. There's also a special unit that occasionally gets added for, depending on which faction leader you have.
Okay.
For example, Grimgor is known for his black orcs, right? So your war armies occasionally will also add a black orc unit to it. And then for each of the different faction leaders, we have different units coming as well. So yeah, that's going to be quite interesting to see how people toy around with, and find the locations for various units. On the campaign map, and yeah, that's how they grow. And then you can obviously use them. I mean, it is dependent on how big your parent army is. So if you have a 6-unit parent army, for example, and you call the war, then the war army will also only be 6 units. And then they will not replenish. They will be filled up no matter what. So, I mean, it's like a more mechanical thing, I guess. But if you're besieging, and normally you wouldn't be able to recruit, your war army will still fill up to the maximum capacity. After the maximum capacity is reached, so you only get a set of units, right? If your parent army is 20 units large, you will only get 20 units. And then if you lose units in a battle before you reach the 20 units, you don't get 20 units again. You will get 18 units if you lost 2. So that's kind of how the mechanical background of the feature works to get those units. Now, because you mentioned AI armies, right?
Yeah.
We also aware that a lot of people don't necessarily enjoy controlling 40-unit armies. So what we did, we brought back an old feature where basically in the pre-battle selection screen, you would be able to just give control over your reinforcements to the AI.
Yeah.
That will then bring the units onto the field and kind of work then with you towards whatever you want to do. If you want to really focus on your main army and on your 20 units, then that is fine. So yeah, and that I think that should apply to all of the other factions as well. So that's not a WAAAGH specific feature. That's something we brought back just because we felt these 40-unit armies might be a bit big to wield for some players.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people saying like, oh no, 40 units armies are like, it's too much micro, and I don't want that. And then now everyone is very excited that you have the option. Either you can control your 40-unit army, or you can give up the control of half of it to the AI.
Yeah, I mean, what I would probably do is use the 20 armies, the 20 units from the war army that come onto the field, and then just A-click them into the enemy. I don't need to care about those guys. They're here for my pleasure. They are the cannon fodder, so I'm use them first, and then use my actual own units.
They are there to die.
Yes, pretty much.
All right.
So that is the war while it's going on. Another component of this war invasion concept that we now created is also that based on which group of which enemy you've chosen, basically. So is it a human? Is it another greenskin? Is it an elf? A wood elf or a high elf or a dark elf? Depending on that, you will basically get a trophy preview when you start. Or you see it when you select the war in the first place, and then once you've selected it, you see on the top bar there is a free icon slot at the moment.
Okay.
Right next to the button, there's like a black black icon slot.
Here,
and you will see you will see the preview trophy basically in that slot then. And that is just a small effect bundle that kind of then will be applied as soon as you completed a successful war. Right? So once the duration of the war is over and you've completed it, there's a host of rewards you get from it, and one of the rewards is that you hold this trophy until your next war is completed, basically. So it's kind of like a toy, you know, my little, you know, if you killed an elven faction and you took their capital, then you will get the elven hat, basically, that, you know, is a toy for some time, but then the Greenskin, when he calls in his next war and he gets a new toy, he basically discards the trophy and gets a new one. Nice hat. Right. Maybe a dwarven hat, maybe that's better in the show off. So yeah, that's one of the rewards.
Sure.
At scrap, which is another feature that we can talk a little bit about, which is also a new concept.
Yeah, so just to, because you cut out a little bit there. So a new Greenskin feature called Scrap.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So this is, what do we do with Scrap? We can see it here. We have Scrap. I don't want to muss over that before you can reveal what it actually does. But we have 30 Scrap here at the beginning as Ashag. What do we do with it?
Yes, so that scraps, you know, Greenskins are quite, you know, laborious in that sense, that they just piece whatever they find together and make a weapon out of it, make something out of it that, you know, increases their fightiness, their potential to fight. So when you select one of your units, you see at the bottom in the unit cards, you see a little icon that basically tells you can do something here now. All right. One of the options is the scrap upgrades now.
So we can use our scrap to improve our units effectively.
Yes. Yeah. So it's basically a unit upgrade mechanic in that sense. So this particular specific unit will get an upgrade then, and you can choose which one. You can see already here that there's requirements for some of them. So some of them are faction leader specific.
Yeah.
I think Wizardly Weapons, for example, is the one that Ashag grants his boys because of his crown, and then there's others that you basically unlock based on the technology requirements. Then obviously you need to spend scrap on it, and
How do I get scrap?
I think it's mainly fighting. When you hover over the top bar where you can see the scrap.
All right, let's look over it.
Breakdown. You can have a better view on what kind of factors we have.
So we can see here that we get scrap from WAAAGH successes. We can discover scrap in battles. We can get it from technology, missions, raiding, raising settlements. Those are the ways we can gain scrap. However much you get, you'll just have to tune to your favorite streamer and or YouTuber to figure that out, because they're going to be making various videos and streams over the next coming weeks, and I imagine a lot of them will be playing Greenskins.
Yes, hopefully. I mean, I've read so many comments in the community about, I don't want to play Greenskins yet. They get their upgrade soon, right? And
yeah.
I mean, we've read these comments for such a long time. It was quite painful to read because we knew at some point we would get around doing it. But now it's here. Now it's time.
A while back, I went and played some Greenskins just to make sure that I had played the old version before I got into the new one, so I knew what I was talking about. And it's like night and day playing it. It's amazing, honestly, and I'm so happy that we can finally show this off to people. Right, so we've also done something to the lords in this. Not just moved Ashag, but we've also given them a little bit of a dust up, a change. Do you know where I'm going with this?
And you mean the war battle ability, which I haven't talked about yet?
You know what? Go with that. I'll get back to my thing later.
Okay. Yeah. So WAAAGH was also it was part of battles. It's funny that multiplayer people probably know more about that than single player people. Why was it the case? Because the WAAAGH ability was down in the skill selection, somewhere in the skill tree.
Okay.
So it was available quite late, and that was always a problem for Greenskins, especially early on, because they kind of relied on this ability to perform. So multiplayer people will have that like straight away, and then they will have reasonably good greenskins. But on the campaign, it always felt a little bit lackluster. So what we did now is you can see next to Asag's unit cards on the top left, next to the cost of the army.
Yeah.
You see a little icon there, and that is basically his new global ability. Asag's Walk. In battle, these effects apply once you use it. Now, there's a little bit of a take on it when you can actually use it. So that's the new like battle feature for greenskins. They also have a war bar in battles, and that war bar fills up the more of the units are in melee contact.
Ah.
So you want to get a lot of your guys in contact, want to fight a lot to unlock this ability, and then you can basically use the ability, which increases the amount that is needed for the next war. So you can get several of these off, but it gets harder and harder to get the threshold to actually unlock the ability, right? So that's also something new that people can play around, and we have different variants for different lords. And on top of that, while you're in a campaign war, this ability on top of that gets upgraded as well. So again, there's even more incentives. Call a war on the campaign map, then you are even stronger in battle. Not only 40 units, but also stronger war ability. So, and you will trigger it even quicker because you have 40 units in potentially in melee contact, and not only 20.
Yeah. So just wash over them like a wave of greenskins. Damn. And then you make them even better. Oh my god! It all this sounds fantastic. So is that all there is to the? I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but is that what we're bringing to the war, or do we have something else?
I think WoW related. I think that covers it pretty much. I mean,
cool. So
there's
what
the technology tree as well?
Yeah. So that was so we have a new technology tree for greenskins, and I believe also we've changed up the skills of some of the lords for the greenskins as well. We're gonna leave that as a teaser. We're not gonna show that off. It's so
cool, man.
It's so close. I could click it, but I'm not gonna. Same thing here. Not gonna click it. You're gonna have to wait and see for that. Let's see. So how do we feel? Are we? Oh my God! The chat is freaking out. They really they really hate me right now. Maybe we should give them something. Maybe we should check out Ashag's skills. I don't actually know if they've been changed, so maybe we do it anyway. There's a lot of things in here, but I don't know if they've been changed. Do you know, chat?
Yes, I think all of them have gotten like a little bit of a touch up, right?
Yeah.
Because it was just, I mean, it's something that just happened over time that Warhammer 1 factions were a little bit, but yeah, I think there's some changes here and there. Obviously, with the new abilities, we had to replace some stuff. So yeah, there's definitely some new stuff in there, but yeah, that goes then very much into the details of the different skills.
We're not going to show the tech. You're going to have to pester your favorite YouTuber or streamer for that. Yeah, so are we done there with the Greenskin rework? I'm trying to remember. I want to tab out, but I can't because
I think we mentioned a lot. Is there even more than that?
While you think about that, let me recap. So what's coming in the in the DLC. So this is obviously the Greenskin rework, which is part of the free updates coming alongside the DLC. In the DLC, we have Grom the Paunch as our new Greenskin legendary lord. He brings with him a lot of new units. We also have the new High Elf legendary lord Eltharion the Grim, Warden of Yvresse, who he hangs out. I think Yvresse is like here-ish. And he also brings with him new units, including Lion Chariots. If you want to find a full list of units and such, you can check out the FAQ, which you can find at totalwar.com. And then for our free LC Lord, because of course we like giving away free stuff, don't we? So I forget where he starts in Mortal Empires, but we have Emrick the Dragon Lord.
He's he's basically stuck between the Skaven Snitch, Malus, and
Yeah.
It basically starts in that new area that we added in the last patch. Exactly, yeah, in that area. So he will take place there, and yeah, he's on an island of doom and terror around him. So yeah, it is a quite interesting campaign. I have to say.
So yeah, it makes sense that Emrick the Dragon Lord, Dragon Prince, maybe Prince Emrick anyway, is in the Dragon Isles. What that means, you'll have to see when we talk about Emrick in later streams. So, let's see what people in chat are saying.
Well, they obviously still want to see your tech tree, but
yeah, I don't know if I don't think we're gonna show it off. Sorry, guys. I want to leave something for our streamers. Have something for them to show. But if you have any questions, make sure you post them in chat. Do you know where Grom starts in Mortal Empires? He's somewhere around here.
In Mortal Empires, he starts in Bretonnia.
Oh, in Bretonnia, huh?
Yes, that is Massive Orcal, the nice mountainous area in the middle of Bretonnia.
Can you take control of the mouse and show where? Because
No, I can't.
Oh, you can't?
Yeah.
Well, never mind then.
It froze for me some time ago, so
sorry about that.
That's fine. Yeah. So
right.
yeah, he's in the middle of Bretonnia. Massive Orcal is currently a greenskin settlement, so he starts there in the middle of it. It's kind of where he recovered, and that's where he kind of plans his big takeover of landing in Ulthuan and trying again to take out Tor Yvresse.
All right.
So that's his starting position, and then obviously in Eltharion has a dual star positions in Mortal Empires.
Yeah. So he starts here in Yvresse.
Yes,
right?
and he starts in the Badlands as well. So he has kind of, look after his capital, his home base, and then he himself is on a crusade after, Greenskins, tries to hunt them all down and stop them. Even though I think in the lore he realized at some point there's no point. They're just they're regrowing and they're everywhere, and there's no point in trying to kill them all. But yeah, maybe we let that to the player decision if he wants to stay in the Badlands forever to try and hunt down all of the Greenskins.
Maybe this is a slightly younger Eltharion who hasn't really figured that he should give up yet. And maybe the way you play him, maybe you don't have to give up. Maybe you're the greatest Greenskin killer of all time. I believe he also goes blind at some point in the lore, and this is slightly earlier than that as well, I think. There's a lot of Warhammer lore. It's hard to keep track of it all, but we do our damnedest. You still there?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm still here.
Sorry, you got very quiet there for a moment. I got I got scared for a moment.
Some space.
So a lot of people are asking about Greenskin unit replenishment.
Yeah, I mean that was always something where they were a little bit behind compared to the other races, especially Warhammer 2 races. I think when we playtested, there have been some minor changes to that degree, but the new war mechanic will help you a ton with getting your stuff going. So I wouldn't worry too much about that specific area because Call of War, you got so many units, so many armies to toy around with, and it's quite a strong power spike for you to do stuff.
Let's see. Where does Grom start in Vortex Campaign?
So top right of the Southlands.
Okay.
I think he replaces one of the mountain range there. I'm not 100% sure about the naming of it, but yeah, again, the position where he can feasibly look for Tor Yvresse is kind of his main objective.
Yeah.
To just go there and get rid of Eltharion, and that's also what the story is kind of centered around. So yeah.
I guess that's important to bring up, that neither Grom nor Eltharion actually has a stake in the Vortex thing. They have their own campaign goals, much like Snitchkitch and Malice, and also Nakai and what's his name, the Hunter. from the Hunter and the
Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus Wolfhart. So they won't be racing for the Vortex. They have their own really cool campaigns that I hope everyone checks out. I know that a lot of people love Mortal Empires because it's so big, but the Vortex campaign is really cool as well. So
And I think who enjoyed really like Repans, for example, and Marcus, right? Those are cultures that weren't playable before in the Vortex, right?
Indeed.
And now we add greenskins, right? You had first time you can actually play greenskin in the Vortex campaign.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a different scenario, different map, and it kind of makes a big difference if you can play in a different culture on that map as well. So I highly recommend playing that as same as Repans has a very unique new experience, especially because she was the first Bretonian in Vortex.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Let's see. There was someone asking, does if we use the scrap to say give this orc big guns wizardly weapons, does that change their appearance, or is it more of a stat thing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we would have loved to do visual upgrades on all of the units, but currently it is just a stat increase on this particular unit.
It would have been, I mean, it would have probably been as much work to do that as the rest of the DLC.
Yes, potentially. I'm not sure on the actual numbers of that. We thought about it, we wanted it, but yeah, I mean,
it's just crazy. We're giving away a lot of things free here with the Greenskin updates. Hopefully, that will that will tide you over, everyone. A lot of people are asking about Grimgore, or rather, they're spamming about Grimgore.
Well, obviously, I mean, I think was it Rich, our director, or who was it? At some point, I think we had an IMA question of making Grimgore great again, and I think that was a specific task we had during the during this DLC. Very, very important task with very, very high priority to make Grimgore great again, and I think we managed. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a beast. I can tell you that.
Fantastic. Let's see. I see a lot of people asking about the mount that was announced as a Total War Access thing when we did the free LC array. We're not going to be talking about that yet, I think, unless someone from the team wants to send me an IM right now and tell me otherwise. But we'll talk about that when it's time to talk about that. Let's see.
Yeah, I think another question or another thing I can mention is that we did some slight map upgrades again, not as substantial as in Shadows, where we added like a whole new area of the map, but we did add some regions in the Badlands, for example. Yeah. There's a new vampire faction now. We did a huge rework of Grimgore's start position, so you will see a host of new factions around the world. There's a lot more Skaven dotted around now in the Badlands. It plays very, very differently to how it plays now. Currently, you could say it plays a little bit boring, but yeah, we spiced it up by quite a bit, and there's some upgrades. We also heard you about the Malus complaint, so we have a few new port regions in that area of the map, which should alleviate some of those problems. Something that we would have obviously liked to fix earlier, but it's again a little bit of extra work we need to do, but we did that as well, and I think that's it, more or less, about the map changes this time.
So we, I found the most important question here in chat. Are you Team Grom or Team Grimgore?
I personally, I love Grimgore.
All right, I'm Team Grom. As a heavy guy myself, I have to respect the paunch.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we will not want to talk too much about Grom, but his stuff is also, it's just great. I mean,
he looks fantastic.
Yeah,
if
you love food in real life, then you will have pleasure playing and toying around with them.
There's a lot of interesting things that you can read in the FAQ at totalwar.com. It should be one of the top things in there. So make sure that you go check that out, because there's a lot of information that we haven't brought up here that you should be able to figure out there. And then also, I think there should already be videos out on YouTube about the Warden and the Paunch that you can go and check out. And next week, we're going to have a Let's Play on youtube.com/totalwar. And if you're unaware, the Let's Plays that we do are very highly edited. They're voiced after the fact with scripts and everything. Guy has spent weeks working on this, and it is fantastic. So if you want to see, you know, detail on Grom the Paunch, that's coming next week on youtube.com/totalwar. Yeah, and there's new units, there's new skills, new research. It's fantastic.
Yeah, so I think there's questions
Start over. You roboted out again.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's my internet that's I'm saturating my internet here.
Okay. So first question was Gorg or Morg. I think I don't know which side you're on, but when you click the button on the top and you selected a target for the war invasion, you actually have to choose between the two.
Oh.
Which gives you another set of different bonuses based on, you know, are you what is it, cunningly brutal or brutally cunning? So you know, you have to choose between the two options there. The second thing that people are asking about is the order tide. So we took our learnings from Brewing Grounds. Obviously, we analyzed that.
You were kind of the mind behind Proving Grounds, weren't you?
Yes. And yeah, we did a lot of analysis on it, and obviously Order Tide, it looked a lot better in Proving Grounds. We had like a 50-50 scenario case study. Now obviously we couldn't like one-to-one copy that over, because now we have this massive Greenskin update, which has a huge impact on the balance.
Yeah.
So we kind of left the Greenskins to flourish a little bit more now, and while I wouldn't say like people would accept that it's fixed in a sense, because it's nothing that you can just, you know, fix in that, like just, you know, flip a switch and then Order Tide doesn't happen anymore.
You don't go into the editor and press the button, remove
Order
bugs.
Tide off.
Yeah, Order Tide off. Just uncheck that box.
So I can tell you that, you know, we have a very more Greenskin factions, which has an impact on the balance of the whole gameplay, and I can say that it's like a 60-70% win rate of the Order Tide to compare previously 100%.
All right.
Which is a big difference. So you will still see the Order Tide in action in your campaigns, but you will also see a lot more cases where the Greenskin will go crazy, or the Skaven, or the Dark Elves, or any other bad faction has a potential to go big. So yeah, I wouldn't say fixable. It changed. It definitely changed into a new just a new era basically, and we will see yeah, when more people play it out there, we can see where it really drops down. But yeah,
and then make adjustments in the future, because it's
exactly
it's like a domino, a massive chain of dominoes. You change one thing and you could change everything. Not just with balance, but with various systems that might break and so on. So we have
it's basically like I have an ecosystem where like a rabbit is the only creature, and now the Greenskin upgrade comes around, right? And what does it do? You know, it introduces a tiger or whatever. Now suddenly the tiger, the super empowered tiger, eats all of the rabbits. So okay, oh shit, yeah, we need to change something now. So we need an actual enemy for the tiger now, or we upgrade our rabbits. You know, so it's like it's really complicated, a lot more complicated than that, obviously. But it's kind of how it feels sometimes. It's the designer puts like a dinosaur now into my ecosystem. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah. Right, so I think that's where we're gonna leave off for today. Actually, I'm gonna answer one question. Deti asked if there are new heroes, and there are, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. So, the Warden and the Paunch is coming on May 21st in just 2 weeks. Hopefully you all will enjoy it. You can go over to Steam and pre-order it right now for a 10% discount. Head over to YouTube and check out the various videos put out by our content partners who got their embargo released about 35 minutes ago. So yeah, hopefully y'all will enjoy that. We will be back on Wednesday, where we're gonna play Grom the Paunch on stream for you. It's gonna be great. Thank you all for watching. I've been Blondie.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you, Nico, for coming. We had some technical difficulties along the way. The stream went down like 10 minutes before before it was supposed to go live. But we made it. We're here. And we're out. Goodbye.